this year. So, you know, I know that there's also people who are being evicted at record rates, so it's a tale of two COVIDs. How are people buying houses at the rates that they are? I mean, how, when you're watching the news and they're telling you that this unemployment is never going to go away, but there are more small businesses being started right now. Truly a tale of two COVIDs. I mean, if I could even give my own testimony, I have been back in New York City for probably now, today, officially makes 3 years. And my qualifications haven't changed much since I've been back. It's not like, and this is not even to suck my own dick, but I'm just saying I had a great resume before. But there is something in the idea that life goes where the mind goes. So life follows the mind. And oftentimes people think it is the juxtapose, that the mind follows life. Oh, but no, life follows the mind. I saw it. I could taste it. Just like I can see and feel anything in my life. Like I saw myself getting this job. I see myself getting this place. I see myself being in a healthy, romantic relationship. I see all of these things. So while the world is telling me that it is impossible because there are so many variables that are working against me, I am Black, I am 41, I don't have this, I don't have that. Like, if I listen to the voices of all of the reasons why I can't have, oh, but God. I promise you, life follows where the mind goes. It definitely does. I mean, we oftentimes question, and I guess we've unintentionally slipped right into the setting of the table. So, but I mean, this isn't even, child, didn't even what I was going to talk to you about. Okay, because we're gonna slide right in there too. But I wanna let you know that regardless of all of the things that you are hearing right now for why you can't do this or why this is impossible, the true difference for most of us is not necessarily we are oftentimes led to believe that access is what is limiting us, right? Access isn't what is limiting you. In my life, what I've come to understand is that it's not resources, it's will. My sheer will is what has oftentimes been the greatest barrier between me and whatever was on the other side of my desires. Not resources. See, resources is an excuse. The molehill that I'll put between myself and whatever's on the other side. We all have the same 24 hours in the day. We all got our cross to carry. It's so easy for me to look at you, especially in this day and age, and assume that your cross is splinterless, shined up, so lightweight, so ergonomic, so easy to carry. Oh my God, I would switch crosses with you any day, honey, darling. Look at your cross, girl. It's so cute. Not realizing that there is a depth. No, but in all seriousness, everyone's cross is heavy to them, light to them, whatever. We've all got our own cross to carry is the point. So while you are feeling like there are great barrier reefs between you and whatever you desire, people are making it happen. People are making that long distance relationship happen, child. People are making that business happen. And listen, like I always say, I minister to you. Oh, I minister to myself, honey. It's a word. All right, let's take a bio break. Let's come back and let's set the table. Now, I know this is a presidential election year, and I know that most of you don't even know your local mayor's name. Even though this is a presidential election, there are many more candidates on the ballot besides the president. Go to Ballot Ready for a nonpartisan guide to your entire ballot. From there, you can compare candidates based on stance, issues, biography, and endorsements, and then save your choices to use when you vote by mail or in the voting booth. You can even request your absentee ballot or make a plan to vote early or on election day. Now, this election really matters. Make sure you have a plan to vote and vote informed. 30% of voters take the time to vote and then leave some part of their ballots blank. This is a missed opportunity to choose the leaders of our community. It's okay if you're unfamiliar with some of the more local positions. Listen, I recommend hosting a ballot party or getting together with friends over Zoom or listening to a seat at the table to stay informed. But if you can't get to all of that, now, I don't know how you're going to hear this, but go to ballotready.org. That's right, ballotready.org. Enter your address, make a plan to vote, and then vote informed. Go to ballotready.org. All right, and we're back. So I've decided to lighten the mood a little bit when we sit at the table this week. Now, we always talk about if you is not at the table, then you on the menu. But sometimes you pull up to the table and you realize that really what's on the menu is a smooth read for somebody. Now, can you fight fair? That is a topic that I have been dealing with, shall we say. And I realize that as conscious and mindful as I think I am, when it comes to the art of war, I could stand to learn a few things. You know what I mean? I mean, first of all, why does it even have to be the art of war? Like, why do we have to consider it like this? I don't know. I feel like when you think of war, you think a battle, something that somebody has to win. And sometimes when you're arguing with somebody, or if you and somebody are having a disagreement, sometimes it's really just about getting them to understand, not necessarily getting them to see it your way and then starting to behave accordingly, but just getting them to understand. Now, the problem is oftentimes is that on the other end, if people are forced to understand what they've done, that means that they have to be accountable for their behavior from that point on, which I find is really... Why am I talking to y'all like I'm reading Mariah Carey's book? Which I find, though, is really is really the gap between what could be just a basic misunderstanding and what turns into an all-out fucking world war. So, I think for all of us, it's important that we understand that, number one, not every disagreement has to be all-out civil war. You got to understand that, like, it takes two to engage in that kind of energy. So maybe it's not the moment to really get your point across, so to speak. But you've got to decide if you want to engage. You got to really be able to look at a situation and its timing and understand that it may be useless to engage in this debate right now. It's highly unlikely that in the heat of the moment that you're going to change someone's mind. As far as when to call it, there's no real rule to follow except for walk away anytime you detect an impasse. Anything else is futile. So what does that mean? Anytime you sense that this person is stringent in their beliefs and you also feel the same, the conversation's not going anywhere. That's like trying to put two different addresses in a GPS to arrive at one point. While it's possible to take two different routes, it's not possible to input two different addresses to get to the same place. So you got to decide in that moment, if we are at an impasse, what does that mean? If you're refusing to see things my way and I'm refusing to see things your way, it's not the time for us to engage. And if you've decided to engage, say you take the other way and you decide, all right, let's go ahead and have this conversation. If you don't start with an open ear, you're already done. If you enter into the idea that it's more important for you to get what you have to say out, that's already the problem. If you decide to engage in that kind of battle, your first thing has to be not just to make the decision to engage, but to make the decision to engage by listening. Listening is an active part of communication. Why don't people understand? Let's stick a pin. Why don't people see that listening is an active thing? Like, it's an action. It's a thing. It's a thing, y'all. Listening is a thing. Now, I think that a lot of times because people aren't moving, that their body is still, and that even the mechanics in your brain have to kind of almost come to a slowing down when you're listening. For a lot of people, I envision listening looking like driving a sports car, grounding the gas, grounding it, and trying to come to a screeching halt. I feel like that's what listening feels like to a lot of people. Like that's what the action of listening looks like. When in fact, listening probably should look more like driving on a block that has speed bumps whilst approaching a yellow light. Picture it. Come with me. Get in the car. Right? So there are 3 speed bumps and you're driving up a block. You see the sign. It's yellow, triangle. It's on your right hand side. Look over there. Look, close your eyes. Look over there. Yeah, gently. All right, you're coming up on a speed bump. You're listening. You're taking it in. Oh, okay. And you're driving for like another second. Oh, wait a minute. Listening. Still listening. Speed bump. Oh, look ahead. The light's yellow. Yeah, you're still listening. Yeah. It's going to turn red. Don't bother speeding up. It's going to turn red. Yep. And a stop. That's what